Oh, look at him.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
I knew he was going to do something. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, no matter where you are across the world. Here is the Star Wars of the universe. We have the Messiah, the Moiser, David with us today. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's turning September in Massachusetts, the state I live in. Weather is cooling down, which I always like. So I'm a happy man. Short break. West Ham will be back soon. In fact, they're already back for preseason friendlies. So I'm a happy man.
We go on to that, David. Save that right there. And we have got the one, the only, the new signing from Norwich, Jordan Hugo, with us. How you doing, Hugo? Oh, Charlie, what are you doing? Got me all excited.
Not okay.
How you doing, Charlie?
Not okay. I'm not happy.
How...
Not happy. I just wanted one thing. Why can't I have one? This is why we can't have nice things, Ray. Because 2.5 million is apparently worth more than that.
I weren't going to talk about it. I was going to just glide over it, but let's just talk about it first before we go on to the presentation of the power of the point. Charlie, what's your views on us selling Jordan Hugo to Norwich for a quarter of what we paid for him?
What's the point in life, Ray? What's the point in life? You know, I spend over a year backing this, believing in it, dreaming in it, and then David Sullivan, in all his wisdom, decides it's not worth it. I just don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live anymore. The honest answer is, I don't see the point. I genuinely don't see the point. What's the point in selling two of our strikers for less money than one of those strikers exists when we have no money? So now we have to go and replace them, but we can't replace them because we don't have the money because we sold them for too little. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
It doesn't make no sense. It is, yeah, it's a waste of money. David, what do you reckon on Hugo? I'm kind
of in between. I reckon it is a waste of money, but I think the original waste of money happened when we signed him for $10 million. I haven't done extensive research on the subject, but there was something like Moyes' brother was his agent or had some relationship with his agent, and then it was a way to get money to him while coming up with a plan B in case we got relegated. I think once that actually happened, we were going to lose money on him. I understand it's 2.5 million, but then there's potential 2.5 million add-ons based on performance. But I think we're in a unique period. There's due to the coronavirus, I think the owners are skinflint. They don't like spending a lot of money, but I think the crisis due to coronavirus is genuine. I think it's going to be really hard for other teams to buy our players. I think we're going to be stuck with some players that we wouldn't be stuck with in other off seasons. So we have to do what we have to do. And unfortunately, even though this doesn't make sense and it's just a drop in the bucket, we're kind of forced into it. That's my viewpoint.
If you believe some people who write for West Ham, he was on as much wages as Messi. Oh my God, his wages are so high. Oh my God. No.
I did read he was on very high wages for a championship player. I don't know what that amount was. So that made it difficult for us to build him. Okay.
It just look. The truth is this. It's if you sell him, fine. Just make your money off him. But there's no point because it's such a small amount of money that it literally makes no difference. Like I understand the idea of like building everything up and whatever. What is 2.5 million going to get you?
But it's also
Hugo.
Sorry, David. Say that again.
It's also the wage money as well, so you get those wages off your books. But
yeah, but for what? It's a small. Is it a high wage for a championship player? Sure, potentially. Like I think an average championship wage is like what? Let's make a guess. 25, 30K. He was on like 45.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like that sounds about like it's a high wage. But for a Premier League player, if you're signing a player on a free transfer, they get more wages anyway. So it's not
that's kind of principle. Although, was he going to actually play for us? So if the player's not going to play for you, what? I mean,
no, but I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. And to be honest, I think the one thing I will say is at least he gets to go and play football now. So I wish at this point I could Hulk Hogan this shirt and then there's a Norwich shirt underneath. That would be great. I wish
it's
I could.
Kind of reverse Hulk Hogan colors.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, there we go. I read somewhere that we've lost loads, about 100 million off of the since Gold and Sullivan have been in place. We've spent about 250 million on strikers, and we've lost about 100 million.
Yeah, I read this.
You know, that is crazy. That's bad business, and that's that's not good. That's not good for the thing. But let's not go on to that. This is happy thoughts. This is good thoughts. We're moving on from the bad to the good. Let's go through. Let's add this to the hammer the point. We've got a presentation. Are we excited, boys?
I am. I love it. Listen, I love a PowerPoint. Listen, as someone who on my CV says that I'm proficient in Microsoft Office, I love a good PowerPoint.
That's always the basis.
Different background.
No matter what job I'm applying for, in there. Listen, if you need someone to make a PowerPoint, I can do it. Word, I know how to change the font size, everything.
Well, we was meant to be joined by Tim today, and he decided last minute, Ray, I can't be arsed. I'm going to go back to bed. I'm having a nap, whatever. I don't know what he was doing, but he said he couldn't make it, unfortunately. So whatever you're doing, Tim, probably chatting in the comments. I don't know. But this is Tim's front three for next season. He has picked Haller, Bowen, and Fornals in them positions. So, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think Fornals is being played out of position on the left-hand side.
I agree.
I think a lot of us are going to be picking Haller and Bowen. I don't think anyone's not going to be picking Bowen. I can't remember if anyone did not pick him. As our front two. But, that's it. Let's move on to another one. David, this is your front three. Talk us through your front three for next season.
On the right wing, Jared Bowen. I think that's a no-brainer. I really liked what I saw him after he was signed during the January transfer window. I believe he started every single match. He just has a great engine. He gets back and defends. He gives his all for the entire 90 minutes. He's good at crossing. He can score the odd goal. He works well with the other players in the attacking three. He's pretty decent at corners too. I like the way he takes corners better than Mark Noble. I just absolutely rate him, and I think he should definitely be our starting right winger. For Antonio, I think just like Marko Arnautovic, he was successfully transformed from a wing player to a lone striker. I don't think you can argue with his total goals scored after the restart. He worked well with Bowen. Bowen had many assists to him. I recall that goal where Antonio fell down and got back up, and Bowen still had the wherewithal to pass it to him. They seem to have a connection there. My only worry is that Antonio has been a very injury-prone player throughout his West Ham career. So I'm worried about him injured and what we're going to do for Plan B if that happens and we don't sign another striker who could be a contributor day-to-day. Diangana was my hardest pick. When I saw him at West Ham, he was playing on the right wing. I know he can play right wing or left wing. He kind of goes back and forth. But he just seems to be an up-and-coming talent. When I saw him at West Ham, he seemed to lack a bit of physicality. And I know he's done very good in the championship with West Brom. I still have doubts about whether he's physical enough for the Premier League. No one else seems to share that concern, so I'm probably wrong. But I really like the idea of three hungry players. Diangana and Bowen are relatively young. And three players who can also kind of they don't just stick in their position. They can break through the middle and then move right, or break through the middle, then move left, or break from the left and then move to the center, etc. They're a very mobile group. And I think if we can get them to work off each other, they'll pose a threatening attack for us in the front three.
Yeah, I think, that front three is quite a hard-working front three that you've actually picked. And, I don't want to say too much because you never know who I've picked. But, Charlie, what do you reckon of that front three?
I like it. I've been speaking a lot about the striker thing because my boy, and I've been talking a lot. So, for example, Jean Tom, and saying stuff like we only have one recognized striker at the club now. And I've sort of changed my mind that we have two, because I just think Antonio is a striker. I understand the argument of that people want to play him on the wing. For example, Tim, he's big on Antonio being a winger, like this sort of stuff. But for me, I just look at it and I think, do you know what? He's not a winger, he's a striker. He just is. Like, I get why he's played there. I understand like the physicality, the pace. It makes perfect sense to play him on the wing, but it also makes perfect sense to play him up front. And so I can see that. What I would say is, can I ask David specifically, who would you play behind them? What are you playing behind them?
Yeah, I would play Pablo Fornals as center attacking midfielder. Okay. Like we said with Tim's lineup, I think he plays way better at center attacking midfielder than at left winger or center attack midfielder veering towards the left. I think he was actually underrated after the restart. I think he had a hand in a lot of the goals that Bowen and Antonio ended up scoring in the build-up there. Yeah. He had some crucial passes. And there's another young, hungry player. I think if we're really sticking true to Moyes' philosophy that he said that I want young, hungry players. I want players who want to prove themselves. Also, this is kind of going to be a wash year that we can't really sign that many reinforcements. I think it's a great strategy to have young, hungry players in your attack who want to prove themselves.
I respect it.
Charlie, out of curiosity, if that was your front three, who would you? I know that's not, just for a little spoiler. Who would you have as your fourth one if they were your front three?
Yeah, Fornals. It can't be anyone else. He's just too good. He's too good to not play in the 10, to not start in the 10 role. I agree with David completely in that I think he's so under. I think he was so underrated last year. And I was saying it since the beginning. There were a lot of people who weren't on it at the beginning, but came to like him because of the hard work, because of everything else. Yeah. I think he's such a baller, man. He's got and what I like. The thing is about that front three, I've got question marks over Antonio's hold-up play, although I think I was actually more impressed by that than I ever have been at the end of last season. But having that guy who can put those through balls in for people to run onto, then, I think it's necessary. The only person who can get anywhere close to that is Anderson, and he doesn't have the passing ability that Fornals does. So I completely agree.
Well, don't you think Lanzini, off his day performance?
One game a good player does not make.
Yeah.
We'll see
I don't know. So I'm in two minds, and this is what I like about West Ham at the moment, because the transfer window is still open and we could be selling any player at any point. Is I really like the fact that we could have Fornals or Lanzini in them positions. We've got so many options up front, and if that was our front three to start next season, and you've got players like Anderson, Haller, and Yarmolenko on the bench, for instance, it's not a bad attacking front three, and then you've got options off the bench, or if someone gets injured or a little bit of a knock or whatever. I think our attacking is fantastic and fine at this moment. It's the defense that needs sorting out, but let's move on to Charlie's front three. Are you excited? Are you ready, guys?
I'm ready.
It's all Jordan Hugill. No, he's gone. I'm just going to deal with it.
I should have put him in.
Ooh.
I did consider it.
Talk us through your front three, Charlie.
Can I also just say I'm appreciating the Star Wars thing you've got going on in these slides? I know. I'm seeing it, and I'm appreciating it, Ray. I do like it. And I want to see what you've called yourself, and I suspect we'll find out. So Bowen, obvious. As you say, I don't know if anyone could leave Bowen out. He's been too good since coming in. He's got all of the form in the world. He's so effective. Bowen has to play. He just has to. It's just a fact. It's just a statement of fact. Now, hello. Let's discuss the other two, shall we? Where would you like to start? Which one should I want to try and annoy people with first?
Let's talk about Anderson.
Yeah, that's annoying to other people. I actually was considering putting him in, but we'll throw with that.
He's the most technically gifted player we have. He's one of the more... He's so good that even when he has such a terrible season that everyone would sell him, he's still by far and away better than everyone else we have statistically. He's so good for us. He's so much better than the thing. Do you know what's been depressing me most, Ray? I'll say this. This is linked to those two specifically. you know, as you know, and people will be sort of semi-aware, I've stepped back from West Ham stuff. I've not been looking at my Twitter account really. I've not been looking at news stuff just because it's so depressing and everything is crap and GSB out and it's a fuckery, right? My problem with the conversation about Anderson and Haller is we have zero chance of getting players that good for a while, and we're not considering letting them go because they might get a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. People actively want them gone. And it's mind-blowing to me because I understand that I'm like, I get it that I support those two players more than everyone else does, and maybe I'm a bit blind to certain things and whatever. But in reality, Anderson has had a bad year to the extent where everyone else is like, we need to fucking get rid of him, shit, blah, 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 blah. And yet statistically, he's still so far away ahead of everyone else that it's actually genuinely embarrassing. It's actually genuinely embarrassing. And when you look at Haller, he has literally everything you need in a striker. And I understand why people make arguments about playing two up front, for example, playing him with Antonio, giving him a strike partner, playing him with, I don't know, Yeti. I understand the arguments people make about it. But what I would say is this. You don't necessarily need him to play in a front two. You just need players to support and get around him. If you look at the game against Southampton at home, which I remember very clearly because I was sat in the stands next to Rebecca and I spent a lot of the time, if I'm being honest, talking about how attractive I find one of the Southampton centre-backs. I'll admit that publicly. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. He's tall. Do you know what I mean? Looks a bit like Four. I'm fine with it. The point I'm making is, if you look at that game, Haller and Bowen's link-up play was brilliant. So good. The problem I have about Antonio's, say, hold-up play is completely eliminated with Haller. Haller is so dominant in the air, so good at controlling the ball. And what would happen in that game is we sort of punted it a little bit long to him, but he would get it and then would just play the ball through to Bowen, who was making these pen curve runs in, getting in behind the defense like that, constant bang, bang, bang. It was great. It was so good to watch. And then you just add Anderson in there, and that's just a whole new thing. The one thing I would say is I was considering the three people, Haller and Bowen were dead certs for me. And then on the left, it was either between Anderson, it was between potentially playing Antonio there, and then it was playing Diangana. Those were the three options. I didn't pick Diangana because I'm just like, okay, I want him in the squad. This isn't me saying loan him out or anything. I really, really, really want him. There you go. People are recognizing it. I really, really want him to get as much game time as possible. I see him playing on the right. I see him playing on the left. Like, I want to see him in. But I just look at Anderson and I trust him more at this level. But that's fine. We'll see how that progresses over the season. And then with Antonio, as John said earlier, when I was talking about him being a striker, man's got to be useful at doing something, and he's not useful. Like on the wings, he's got too much responsibility. He can't pass, can't shoot, can't cross. I would rather have him leading the line, sort of distracting people, making good movements. And his movement at the end of last season was very good. So I'd rather see him do that than getting deeper involved in link-up play, where Anderson can find the other two. Get some link-up play going. But the key is getting them close to Haller, really utilising them as a three, as opposed to one and then them two being flipping in the stands far back, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dave, what do you think of this front three of Charlie's compared to yours?
I think it's a good theoretical front three, but I just think it's not David Moyes front three. I said on the previous show I appeared on, I was actually very tempted to even suggest selling Grady Diangana, and then we could still put Felipe Anderson on the left wing because he's experienced. He's played that way before, and then we could use the funds from Grady Diangana to buy a fullback, specifically a left back, which we really need. But I don't think it's not because they're not good. I agree with Charlie. Haller and Lanzini are athletically superior. They're probably statistically superior to Antonio and Diangana, but they're just not Moyes type players, which I think unfortunately is a remnant of Pellegrini being fired. I think Haller and Anderson really fit in a system where you're playing a high line, then you get the ball, then you do all these creative moves, you overlap and you score. I just think of our game against Crystal Palace. The first game against Crystal Palace, right as Fabianski got injured, there was some really beautiful stuff that was going on there, specifically with Anderson and passing to Rice. But I don't think Moyes, Charlie mentioned hold-up play. I don't think David Moyes plays with hold-up play. I don't think he appreciates hold-up play. I think he wants to defend, then he wants to counterattack, then he wants to break, and he wants to do a cross from the wing, or he wants to do a series of quick passes and have Antonio run off the shoulder of the defender. So I think this is the best starting three for your average Premiership side or even your average European side. It's just not the best David Moyes front three, if that makes sense.
I think that's a fair point. I do actually think that's a fair point. I think the thing is he doesn't seem to know how to get the best out of Haller, which again is wild to me because he can literally.
Right, we're agreeing on that.
Which is like which is crazy to me because he can literally do everything. So I don't understand why he can't. But I do. I think you raise a good point. I think the one change I would make to that front three, if I was to sort of try and make it a bit more David Moyes-y, I guess, would be to take out Anderson and to put in probably Antonio, and then you have Haller again. Because we are playing long balls out, but at the moment they're sort of getting played over Antonio's shoulder into his path. We want him running at the defense. We don't really want him stopping, trying to control it and pass. Because Jesus Christ, no, don't do that. So maybe you put Antonio there, and you essentially have the long ball out to Haller and have Antonio and Bowen already going. So Haller's job is essentially control it, find the pass, go. Like that's it. Like transitional, just. Yeah. But I think you raise a good. I think you do raise a good point. Also, just to be clear, 4 hours in the 10.
Yeah. See, do you know what I like about this front three, as well as David's front three, is, or if you want to include the front four with Lanzini, I'm saying Lanzini and Fournette, is that you've got a younger guy, like trying to get into the team. You know, Diangana's already turned around and said, "I want to be given a chance. I want to play." So that means Anderson is either got to step up his game and put in performances of Payet level, you know, or he's got to step aside. Diangana's going to come in. And some of the play he did today, Diangana, I was quite excited about that. You know, his little taking on. I know it was against Ipswich, and it weren't a great team, but he's been doing it for West Brom all season, last season. You know, digging it out, pushing it. You know, Anderson, this is what he does. He nutsmith people for fun. So, you know, they have got to start pushing. And what I also love about this is that Diangana can move on and push Jared Bowen, because Bowen's going to be like, well, my place is secure. No, I play here as well, mate. You know, if you want to play in top form, I'm coming in, taking it. Or even part of the squad rotation if they need to. You know, there's going to be a lot of games. The season is going to be crazy. So we're going to find tired players. We're going to have injured players and our attacking formation, swapping around, changing it. Haller for Antonio, Bowen for Diangana, or Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko pop up front, you know, or Anderson changing with Diangana. You can even put Jared Bowen on there, you know. But there's so many good options. I'm worried if we sell them players attacking. Oh, cheers, Boo. Cup of Rosie Lee, thank you very much. If we sell these players like we're looking to sell Anderson, you know, we're going to struggle next season. We need a big squad to get through our season. So, cup of teas at the ready, chocolate biscuits at the ready.
Oh, you love it.
Are you guys ready for my team?
Oh, yes.
This is like last time. I'm scared, but I'm ready.
Are you scared of it ready? Well, I've gone for a slightly different striker than both of you two. So this is a bit wild card. It's a bit out of the way. So, chat, get ready, because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments for having this striker. Are you ready? David, are you ready?
I am ready. G-Unit.
There we go.
Oh, no. I should have seen this coming.
What a front three. Is that not good enough for you?
Well, I do appreciate that he's wearing the old school Adidas kit with the castle badge on it, the year we had Alex Song.
And just in case, And if Case Fornals and Lanzini is injured, he can just slot down here. That'd be your front four. But on a serious note, that is my front three. You know, I've gone for Diangana because I'm excited by seeing this young guy come through our ranks, getting a chance, going down a level to prove his worth, working hard at West Brom, doing bits and pieces down there, coming into the Premiership. You know, if he weren't for West Ham, I think West Brom would definitely go get him and try and keep him in the squad. You know, that says a lot about a promoting team. We want a great player on our side. West Ham got him. You know, they're probably if it was a normal season, we didn't have this pandemic, and they had the money when they got put up, they probably would have paid 20 million for him, and they probably would have got him. You know, so that excites me. How about having Diangana? And I would love for him to push Anderson, you know, to the actual max. Anderson is 27. This is the prime age market for his position. He has to be moving Diangana and teaching Diangana what to do, right? Haller, I think Charlie said it all. I think Haller's got that touch. I was a little bit worried, and I was hoping, I was hoping to see better shots on target than he did today in the highlights I watched earlier, especially the first two, straight out of keeper. Open goal, he should have scored his first one. And how can you not have Jared Bowen in the squad? I think all three of us picked him. That's crazy not to have him in there, you know. The only person I would put in there is probably Messi, you know. If we was going four, with that four, I would have Lanzini in the middle because Sana. Well, I would like to see Lanzini because I know he's got the tricks he's got, but I wouldn't be advised to have Fornals because if you look at some of the training videos, a link-up play between Diangana and Fornals and Bowen and Fornals. I know Fornals and Bowen are close off the pitch as well, so they've got a real good sync. So I think next season, this season coming, couple of weeks, it's going to be exciting. I really hope that we have a really good, strong front team. You know, we've even got the likes of Wilshere not even getting in the squad. £100 a week. Can't even get in the front midfield. Well, Charlie, what do you reckon of that front three? Would you prefer
Messi? Would Messi listen? As Carrie said, is he any good? Is he proven? You know, can he do it on a rainy Sunday night tonight? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. Would Messi work? I don't think he would. Not at West Ham. Not under Moyes. Do you know what? Do you know what I like about this? Is the thing I like about Diangana and Haller. I trust Haller in the box to finish it. Right when the ball comes across to him in the 6-yard and the 18-yard. I trust him to just put it on target, to bury it, more than any of our other striking options. I trust that man to just pump it in. If you look at some of his goals from today, for example, big boy pumps. Straight in, no messing, right? I like that. And what I like about Diangana is something he was really, really good at West Brom last year. This is something young Tom brought up to me earlier, so AFAS 32 can have this one. He was really good at drive when he was playing on the left because he's left-footed, driving to the byline and just pulling it back, getting past his man, taking it to the end, and then pulling it back. Even for Haller's first today, I think it was his first, did the exact same thing. Takes it past the couple, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Haller slots it in. I like that a lot because at the beginning of Haller's time here, especially that first 6 games or whatever, all of his goals were predatory. They were all strikers' goals, what I call strikers' goals, which are basically in the 6-yard box, right place, right time. I just get one touch and it's in the goal. At max, I'm having to take one, but almost every single time, hitting it first time. Bang, 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 bang. Diangana, although some people, for example, David, might have problems with his physicality or whatever, he can still take it past a man. He might not be able to outmuscle a man. He might not be able to go 50-50 with a man or whatever. I would maybe disagree with that slightly, but I fully understand where David, for example, his concern is coming from. He can take the ball past a man. We saw, and again, Ipswich is whatever, but we saw it time after time in the Championship. He's taking someone on, he's getting it to the byline, he's putting it back. And I'm telling you, Haller's going to put those in. So I like that. And obviously, like Bowen, we all bloody like Bowen. He's a good footballer, isn't he?
Yeah, these cards. David, what do you reckon? My front four.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just worried a bit. Again, like I said, that Haller, he fits better in a two-striker system. He seemed to be really thriving in Eintracht Frankfurt, excuse me, when he was playing in a two-striker system. I think it was with Jovic. And he's still useful. He's still good to have. He still has a striker's instinct. But he seems a little bit out of sorts when he doesn't have that kind of second striker who he can like move around, mimic his movements around the box and move to that open area. I do agree with Charlie that I think Diangana and Bowen are two really good wing partners to have because they move a lot too and beat their man. So that will open up space for him. So I don't see it as a negative if he's the lone striker in certain games, but I'm not gung-ho, to use an American expression. I'm not supremely confident if Haller is the lone striker with those two wingers.
Well, the more I think about this, is the thing I like about this front three is they've got shots on them. Like, when you look at some of the other players that put in there, they can be pretty selfish of getting a shot in themselves, where I think Bowen, Haller, and Diangana would actually work in twine, where they would get each other off with some shots. And they wouldn't actually be afraid of taking just on Charlie's face. But and they wouldn't be afraid to take some shots from outside the box. You know, I think these three could work really well. You know, I see Anderson as doing the right tricks and getting more crosses. I don't see him shooting as much as I would expect Diangana. But I would expect him to, you know, cross it on the byline to Haller and put it back. Bowen, you know, he got upset with Cresswell because he wanted to shoot instead of Cresswell taking a cross. And I just think they've got that little entwine where they're going to have. And this is where I think Lanzini will be able to slot in that number 10 role by doing the little passes on the edge of the box to get them little runs. And training more than what I would, and I think Lanzini would shoot more than what I'd see Fornals doing. Do you get me? What do you reckon?
Yeah,
I think that's a fair argument. That's a fair argument. I think Fornals can do it. I just think his preferred method is the assist. So I think that's a fair argument.
Yeah. So I think I'd rather, and I think that's a part of his development and his learning curve that Fornals could actually do. So. That's Radar General, just saying. David, did you watch any games today?
I watched highlights. I also just followed Twitter to see what people said who had the good performances and the like. But that was the extent of my following of the matches.
So what did you notice on the highlights? Is there any key indicators that you saw and you thought?
The key indicators I saw was that, like you said, Grady Diangana looked very threatening. I saw that Haller scored 3 goals, I believe, but he did miss an open goal, so he would have had 4. I am taking all of this with a grain of salt because it's against Ipswich Town, it's against Wycombe Wanderers, high League One, low Championship caliber sides. They did say that Aji Alese, who's only 19, had a really good game at a left back against Ipswich Town, even though he's usually center back, but he's left-footed. They said Jamal Baptiste, he's only 16 years old. That's really young. Yeah. He had a good game at center back, I believe, against Wycombe. So it's promising to me that we're playing a lot of the youngsters. Like I said before, I think we need to have a philosophy. Our philosophy under Pellegrini faltered because we made some missteps and we had a lack of depth. I think we've moved on to a new philosophy, and we really have to follow this one. And promoting youth and signing young players. But while at the same time, I think some of the older players, not really old, but such as Anderson, I think it's valuable for us to hold on to him and say, you have to compete with these young players. They are hungry players. If you don't perform, your value will go down, and you won't get signed by a good team in the January transfer window or the offseason, and your career will be negatively impacted. So you're in for some competition from some hungry players, and put up or show up. So I think it's promising that these young players had good performances, albeit against lower quality sides.
Yeah, and before I go to Charlie, because I was quite excited to see a lot more Batista in the centre back role, because I've been hearing a lot of things about him from like players like Colton Cole and others like that, saying this is a really talented lad that could come through the ranks and do very well. So it's good to see here, and I heard he had a good game. Charlie, what did you see of him today?
Yeah, so I did the Wickham game. Because it was free, so I watched it, as opposed to Ipswich, which was a tenner. Me and young Tom did a watch along for the Wickham game, and yeah, Baptiste played well. I think he looked comfortable on the ball. One of the things I would say is people tend to look more comfortable on the ball in pre-season because there's no pressure on them. You don't have people haring down and being like, "What are you gonna do?" What was that? I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, everyone. I've done it now. We have to live with those consequences.
It was your defensive style.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, that's, I learned from David. But he did look comfortable on the ball and was accomplished on there. And I want to see more of him in the rest of preseason to sort of truly judge where that lands, because a lot of the young players we have coming through are a lot better on the ball than, say, like if you look at Baptiste on the ball compared to Ogbonna, I don't want to call it night and day, but I think he is better. I think he's more comfortable. He's a better passer, that sort of stuff. So we have a sort of interesting range there. Lanzini, I was very impressed by today. He just looked sharp, which he hasn't looked for a while. His link-up play was very good. He just sort of in general, he was making a lot. He was moving a lot. He was covering a lot of ground. He was getting very deep. He was coming deep to collect the ball and then doing that sort of. I think the way I described it on the stream was hybrid 8 kind of role thing, where he drops very deep to collect the ball, but he's also getting in and around the box. He's not just playing as a sort of deep line playmaker or anything. He's proper going back forward, and he played very well. Most things that West Ham did well, he was involved with. So I thought he had a very good game. I'm looking over here because I've got the names written down, so I'm trying to remember who the other guy was that I thought was good. Longello, who was number 27 today. I don't know what position he came on at. I couldn't figure it out because I thought he'd come on at left back, but then Masuaku was still on. But he was also playing deeper and wider than Masuaku, but also more forward and wider than Masuaku. So I couldn't quite figure it out. But once he came on, Masuaku just seemed to sort of wander around the pitch. So God knows what happened.
Was it against Ipswich Town?
Wickham Wanderers.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, I thought I was impressed by him. He didn't do much, and it wasn't like incredibly effective or he did this amazing piece of skill or anything. But just seeing someone who didn't make me panic on the left was just nice. I think that was maybe what it was. And he looked very tall and very athletic, and he was very quick. When Usain Bolt runs, but it doesn't look like he's running as fast as everyone else, yet somehow he's still faster than everyone else. A bit of that high knees, lots of strides, but it doesn't look like there's a thing to him, which was good. But yeah, no, I was happy. And I was mildly concerned at one point that West Ham were winning 4-1 with the team that was in charge by Alan Irvine, and then David Moyes was struggling with a 0-0 draw at a worse team. But yeah, no, those were the key standouts for me. Oh, and Josh Cullen. I really want Josh Cullen to do well. He had an accomplished game. He had an accomplished game at centre mid, and I'm just desperate for him to make it.
And this is the season for him to be able to make it. There's not going to be much transactions in us spending this season. It looks like Eze's going to Crystal Palace by the sound of it, so they get his number one target. For me, I wouldn't spend any money on the forward. I keep going on about this, so I know I keep going.
I agree with you.
But it's I just see it as a waste of money. Unless you're going to get rid of someone, there's no point spending that money. I think you need to get rid of people before you can buy. So, spend it on a. Charlie, what do you think of Masuaku today? How was he when he came on? He scored a wonder goal, didn't he? Even though the camera was a bit weird.
Yeah, the camera was very zoomed in. I could repeat it with my camera, but I can't be asked. Camera was very close. One of the things, this is a side note, I love about watching preseason friendlies is from a video editor standpoint, a video production standpoint. I like looking at it because there's a team of people trying to do something they're not usually asked to do. And so you get moments like Masuaku hitting a screamer from 25, 30 yards, it going supposedly like barring in, absolute belter, and yet the camera is like here, and you just don't see it, and you just don't see it. It's like, well, you know, it looked great. God knows what happened. But I thought he played all right. First half, he did decently. He got involved in a lot more central areas than I'm used to him seeing him do. Usually I'm used to him picking up the ball and sort of drifting past a couple of people. But then once he gets into that final third, really staying out wide and basically just being an option to cross the ball and nothing else. But he got from the get-go, he was getting involved in very central areas in the final third, getting in and around almost the D at times. And he wasn't afraid to have a shot. He was cracking a couple. So he played all right. He played okay. But not enough for me to go mad or anything. But I do think he played all right.
Yeah. Just a quick question for both of you. Wasn't commentary playing in the left back role today?
He played in the Ipswich game, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not aware either.
I'm sure he played left back.
I heard he played out of position, but I didn't know where.
Yeah,
no, I have it written down here that Alessi played at left back, even though he usually plays center back against Ipswich Town. So he must have not been at left back.
But he got an assist as well, didn't he? Because he curled it into, and it looked a fantastic cross. To be fair, one of the best crosses I've seen from West Ham player for a long time. So, you know, I think there's some hope and some excitement within the youth setup. It's a shame it looks like we're losing the guy to Porto, who's apparently going to Porto then off to Man City. Sounds all right. A bit dodgy there. But yeah, I'm quite excited. I want to see more. You know, this is why I say West Ham University should happen.
I love this. I love you're just going to keep bringing it up, and it's never ever going to get A, discussed fully or B, happen. I love this. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I could have bring it up, but you know, if I had a time machine, I'd go back, get some Bitcoin, be a billionaire. West Ham University.
Wouldn't we all? That's the only reason I want to be a billionaire, to buy the football.
Was there anything else you wanted to add from the highlights today that you saw before I get on to my next thing?
No, I just want to acknowledge Charlie Boy's comment here that I'm very excited, as you are, Ray, about our youth, but left back is very weak. And I think we're kind of stuck. I don't think we can offload Cresswell or Masuaku and then sign a player who's better than them. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm anticipating that being our weak position, assuming that if we start a campaign like that.
It scares me that our wing backs are going to be there. Yeah, I'm not so worried with Ben Johnson. I'm quite happy for him to be there and make mistakes and all that kind of good jazz. Left back, it worries me. It scares me.
I'm scared of left back too.
What do you think of the left back situation, Charlie?
Scared. Going to poop myself, Ray. It's a scary situation. The thing is, I'm fine with Cresswell being a second choice. Like,
yeah, I'm fine.
In a window where the world wasn't on fire, I'd be fine with seeing like Cresswell being the second choice. We get rid of Masuaku and we get a first choice in, and Cresswell's there for basically backup and for utility. You can play centre back, you can play left back, whatever. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't think he's a particularly incredible left back anymore, but he's good enough to be our second choice. Let's be real about it. I'm just concerned because the more attacking players we sell, which seems to be the only, I get it, like that's where the money is. So if you need money, you've got to sell them. The more attacking players we sell, the more likely we are to start buying attacking players. And we're not going to have a super amount of money Moyes isn't going to get given a super amount of money in order to buy both attacking players to replace the people we're leaving and also defensive players. And so that really bloody concerns me.
Oh, cool. Right, so we've got 15 minutes left. But that's the end of the show, guys. That's all we're going to give you from today. However, we're going to have a little bit of a divert, something a bit different. Not about West Ham. We're going to do something different. We was going to do this off air. But in fact, I want the 16 people that are in the group chat with us.
Oh, no.
We're going to have a shirt showing from David.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm very nervous. I don't even know how to set this up. But
Well, I'll set it up for you, Dave. Well, so me and Charlie and David talk off air every now and again. Last time we was talking, we spent about an hour talking about kits and what different kits we like. On FIFA, we look at all the different kits around the world, and David is a kit connoisseur. So, David, show us some of the kits that you have got.
I'll be happy to. Let me know if this gets tiring or if you can't see them. But I've just bought some rare kits I own. They're not all the ones I have, but I'll just get through them quickly.
I'm excited for this.
I love this, Ray. This is the greatest thing you've ever done.
This is it.
This is the.
I don't know if you can see this, but this one is AS Niger from the country Niger in Africa. I always try to get the kits that are match worn or look like match worn. So it has the official player name and number on the back. Some countries, they only have the official number. So not many people have this kit because it's from Niger in Africa.
That's cool. I like that.
Love that. I like FC Niger a bit like FC
Paris. 10,
which means it's company. In Africa, they have some very random sponsors. This one's called Huebul. It's from North Korea. I had to jump on this one when I saw it. Not many people have kits from North Korea. This is the official number 3 on the back.
I like that, David. I like that little white bit with the little signage in there. That's quite different.
Yeah, I think that's quite cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's quite cool. It looks a bit. For some reason, it reminds me of I don't know why, a second-tier Italian team, and I don't know why.
No, it's because a lot of them have that. No matter what the kit maker is, whether it's Macron or someone else or Adidas, they have it.
There you go. That's just what my brain jumped to.
No, I agree with you. This one's called AS Port. It's from Djibouti.
Where the hell is Djibouti?
It's right outside. It's covered by Ethiopia. It's
okay.
Near Eritrea. It's in Africa.
It's underneath your back, Ray.
Yeah.
Above your legs and underneath your back.
So is that kind of like near Cameroon sort of style?
No. That's northeast Africa. It's near Somalia and Ethiopia and Eritrea and stuff like that.
That's almost like Portugal's kit as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
True. And I like this little element here. And they have a shark in their patch. It's hard to see.
What's the badge? What's the not badge? Sorry, the shirt manufacturer.
Oh, so this one is called. These shirt manufacturers are super random. This one is called Ukan Sport. That's the other cool thing about them. You find these manufacturers who you never knew existed, and they only make shirts for like teams in 2 countries or something like that. But they're all official. They're what the players wear. They're like the player specs and everything. So that's really cool. And I'll just do 3 or 4.
This is I'm having a whale of a time right now.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
This one's called Bantu FC, and it's from Lesotho, which is completely surrounded by South Africa.
Okay.
This one has a player named Kaleke. I'm not familiar with him, but he's one of their top players, I understand, from the eBay listing.
Can we see that a bit closer, David?
Yeah, I was about to ask the exact same thing.
Yeah, I need to show the badges closer.
That's good.
That's a cool badge.
It's a Zulu symbol there. It's like a Zulu shield with 2 spears or something through it.
That's a cool badge. That is a cool badge. Again, very just to make these Dortmund-esque.
Yeah,
I like that color scheme. I always really like that color scheme.
Yeah. Question while we're going through these steps. Would you be offended if they put the crown above the crosses?
No, I don't get offended. I always research some of the teams before I buy them too, and if I like them and I like their history and stuff, no.
Because it is alleged that the Queen is a West Ham fan. Just saying.
Oh, you mean for West Ham? Anything above? And Berlin, the bowling ground. There you go. She was literally a queen at one point. I'm sure Karen Brady would love it.
This one is Hafia FC from Guinea in Africa. I brought a lot of African ones because they're colorful.
Yeah, that's a banger. That is a banger.
Yeah, design here in the middle. It's just the number on the back. On the field, they just wear the number.
And who's the maker of that one?
So this is Syndio, and I actually Facebook messaged them to get an extra one of these. So I'm friends with the owner of Syndio. They're based in Belgium, but they're Ghanaian immigrants who live in Belgium. So I Facebook messaged them to get an extra one of these, so I could just wear this one out.
That one's just got like tons of different things going on. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's got like this sort of like almost, I don't know what the art style is, but the random sort of patterns, and then you've got the weird like sort of crisscrossy thing going down.
Oh yeah, this thing here.
It's just,
I do like some busy, ugly kits, which some other people are not fan of, but I definitely enjoy them.
Oh,
I like that.
do you remember the Bob Marley one?
Yes, yeah. That's a blast.
I'll be quick because there's a lot of African ones. I'll just do 2 more South African and European ones, but this one's Gazelle FC from Chad.
Adidas.
Chad.
Gazelle FC.
It's next to Sudan. That's the official player number.
Decent. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like
There's some
black
good,
and white.
good kits. I quite like the wacky ones as well.
I love the
Oh,
one.
my God.
Oh, here we go.
Like Juventus, but it's Sport Boys Callao from Peru. I actually really like this team. I watch their games on the streams. They've got a devoted fan base. Callao is a coastal city near Lima.
Look at that color.
I was gonna say, look at the collar and stuff. Does the black stripe? Is it like a straight black stripe that goes?
No, it fades as it goes down.
Oh, that's a banger. That's a banger. Yes. Yes.
Do you know what? That reminds me of a kit that was in Italian 90, I think it was. I think it was Italian 90.
I think there's a Palermo has
Palermo, I think, yeah.
Juventus has a lot of third kits that have this kind of motif.
Yeah, and there was only one goalkeeping kit I used to love, and it was the little short guy who had the funky goal kick and done all the weird saves. I think it was in 1990. What was his name?
Who did all the funky? Do you mean
why am I forgetting this? He's a manager now. He just managed Cagliari. It's not what is his name? There was Zuff, but he was earlier and like
He's really famous. What's
Zenga? Volker Zenga. Is it Volker Zenga?
I can't remember.
Is it Rene Higuita or whatever his name was?
No, he's like from Colombia.
It was. I remember him being in a Pepsi ad with like Ronaldinho. Oh no! What advert was it? When he was like
Buffon. It's not Buffon.
Humans versus not Peter Shilton. Humans versus demons or something like that. It was a Pepsi advert. I'm sure it was.
Okay, so the last one. So that's what I'm actually really proud of because I'm actually a part of this team. They're called Timișoara, Poly Timișoara. They're a Romanian team. They went bankrupt and then they became a fan-owned Phoenix team. And I have the card and I donate to them every month. But the city of Timișoara was where they rose against the communist dictatorship. So this is actually a third kit marking the anniversary of that uprising in 1989. You can see the Romanian flag. You can see the barbed wire for the people who are imprisoned.
That's sick.
It says Polytechnica. It's Poly Timișoara, the 12th man. So I'm very proud of this kit, and I wear it a lot.
That's actually the like barbed wire thing is so sick.
Yeah.
I'm also into purple. I can't lie. I do like purple.
That's good.
So that's it. That's just a sample of my collection. But thank you guys for letting me show it off.
Dude,
mate, I'm thank you for showing us.
More.
I have a bunch more. I actually don't store them in my apartment. I store them in my parents' basement because it's cool. It's non-smoke. I want to keep them looking good. But I have so many more to show. So, but thank you guys for letting me show them.
Oh, dude, I'm all about it. I do it again. See, if it's my room, I'm like, this is my Sting mask. He's a wrestler from WCW in the 90s. I got this from WWE Kids magazine about 2 years ago.
Never turn your back on the Wolfpack.
Never. Yes, David. This is my Finn Balor mask. I got that from the issue beforehand. Oh, I love that Wolfpack reference. Love that. Brilliant.
I'd also like to point out I collect every kit from every year for West Ham, the home kit. So I have all those as well.
See, not just like Brumph. Everyone's on it.
Yeah.
I will say this.
I think that was
Charlie
a fantastic end of the show.
Wanted to see more.
Charlie Boy says, "Where's the Italia kits?" I have 3 Italian national team kits because my mom's Italian, but the team I support in Italy is called Lecce. That's where my mom is from, and I have every year of those kits as well, the home kits.
Love that.
So I can show those at a later date.
I love kids.
I absolutely love it. Well, next time we get David on, which will probably be next week, David, if you want to make it.
Yeah.
What we're going to do next week, guys, this is a preview. As a preview, we are going to guess the first 10 games results, like at the end of last time.
Oh,
We're gonna come up with your predictions for the first 10 games of West Ham, and then we'll have a look. So, thank you for everyone in the chat. Massive thank you for David showing us them shirts. I love that. Beautiful. Thank you to my wingman, Charlie, as always. One last thing to say, guys. Come on, you irons. Come on.
Come on, you Irons.